Hey guys, welcome back to Nicsminibikes. Today we're going to look at some carburetors and go through and clean one of them. Decided which one yet, so we'll pick one while we're looking at these. We'll just show you the various sizes and how they're pretty much exactly the same, bigger or smaller, with the only difference being the 79cc carburetor is pretty much completely different than 196 and up carburetors. So let's get to it, check these out. Alright guys, so here's 5 carburetors. They're all pretty much the exact same, with a little bit of differences. This carburetor here is going to be off of like your little 100 Colemans or your 79cc Predator. It's got about a 15 millimeter bore. This one is going to be off of like your 196s or your 212 Predators, 224s. It's got about a 19 millimeter bore. This one here is a stock carburetor off of my 301, and it's got about a 21 millimeter bore. This one here looks identical to the last two, just the size is different. It's going to be a 23 millimeter bore. Not exactly sure what those come on. I bought this as a replacement for the 390, and it's a little smaller than what's actually on there, so I didn't end up using it. So the ad said it was a 390 carburetor, but 23 millimeters is a little smaller than what a 390 needs or has on its stock, so we didn't even use it. So maybe be good for like a replacement for a 301 or a 270 or a 240. And this is the carburetor that came off of the 390. It's if you ever watch my other videos, it's still got some of this stuff on it. And it's a 27 millimeter bore. So this little guy is just off of a parts motor that's sitting in the garage, so I'm not gonna do nothing with that. These two, I don't need them right now either, so we'll just set them to the side. This one and this one, I don't really need either one of those right now either, so we'll go with the 19 millimeter because that's what most of you guys are going to be using is your stock 212, 224 carburetor. So we'll take this one apart and give it a clean. Alright guys, so you don't really need much to do this. Got me a 10 millimeter socket and ratchet. I'm going to use a torch tip cleaning tool. You don't really need this, but helps to have it. You might need a set of pliers. Got a screwdriver. Ground down the tip so it fits perfectly in the jet, and ground down the sides Let's show you why here in a minute. And it's got a regular flathead screwdriver. So this hasn't been on a motor for a while, so it doesn't have any gas in it. If it did, you could pull this bolt out here and it'll drain the gas. But first thing, we're just going to take the bowl off. Just gonna take that bowl off. Just pulls right off. You do have an O-ring in here. That's your bowl seal. If it stays, just leave it. So this is pretty gross in there. If I was going to use this carburetor, you'd want to clean that. Clean all this gunk out of the bottom of that bowl. Clean all this gunk off your floats. And we'll take this float out. It's just this pin right here. The pliers come in handy. Just grab it. Wiggle her on out of there. And your float will come off, and it will bring your needle with it. On carbs that have that sediment bowl, it's just a 10 millimeter. Just take her loose. It'll come right off. Does have an O-ring down in there too. Nothing in there. There's that O-ring. Alright, this is your choke lever. So the next thing we'll do is we'll get the main jet out. Your main jet's going to be down this tube here. That's what this is for. We made it so it'll go right in there and not mar the threads up, because the threads for your bowl nut go right there. You don't want to mess those up. So we'll get that out of there. And there's your little main jet right there. Play with him later. Now underneath that main jet is where your emulsion tube is going to be. Sometimes they just don't like to come out, and a lot of times I'll just leave them if they want to stay. Unless your carburetor's really bad, then you might have to figure out a way to get it out. And on this side right here, I think this is where most people have an issue. It's with this jet here. So you want to take your idle adjustment, take it off. Just like that. Now underneath that idle adjustment is this. This is your idle jet, your low jet. You just want to put a screwdriver underneath it, work it out, and it comes right out as well. There's your idle jet. Comes out of that hole right there. So now we'll start doing some cleaning. I'm not going to get too in depth because I'm not going to be using this carburetor. So we'll take some carb cleaner, brake parts cleaner, whatever you got. We'll stick it in the bottom of this jet, and we should see cleaner shooting out of this little hole that goes all the way through. It should squirt out of there. So we'll line that up. Watch your eyes, because Stuff hurts when it gets in your eyes. Got a good stream coming out of there. Both ways. So we'll just give it a quick hoser. And it's clean, so we'll set it over there. So we know we did it already. Your main jet, sometimes they're marked, sometimes probably not. But anyway, right in the middle there, you do have a little hole. Same thing. Stick that tube in there. We want to see that cleaner coming out the other side. Watch your eyes. And it does. So we know that's clean. Set it to the side. This, we're not going to do any cleaning on it, so we'll set it up here. Our sediment bowl looks really good already. Set it aside. That gasket, pretty shot, but we're going to use it. Set it aside. Now your bowl, now your float here, all of this is weight, so it'll change your fuel level. So just want to try to get some of that off. So we'll spray it down. Got a plastic brush here we'll hit it with. You can pop this needle out and just set it to the side for now. And clean this float up. Here's the float. That's as good as I'm going to get it. Set it aside. And we'll check out this needle. So you take that needle out, you do have a spring on there, so be careful. You don't lose that spring. And we'll just give this a good little cleaning. And that'll do. That spring back on there so we don't lose it. And then we'll just stick that right back on the float. We'll compress that spring down. Just slide the head of that needle right into that slot like that. So we've got that spring underneath it. Sits just like that. Now onto the body of the carburetor. So if there's a hole, you want to shoot your carb cleaner through it, your brake parts cleaner, whatever you're using. So we'll turn the fuel on because we want it to flow out so we know it's working. We'll start here with the inlet. Stick our hose in there. And we're shooting out where we're supposed to, so we know that one's clear. Now we'll just pick this side or that side, whichever one you want. This hole and this hole are bolt holes, so we know we don't need to shoot any cleaner through there. So we'll go to this one. Just watch your eyes because it's gonna shoot out somewhere. So we're shooting out the bottom down there. Ready? So that one's good. And that's it for this side. We don't got no holes on this side. This side. It's not a hole, bolt hole, bolt hole. Here's a hole. Going to this one. Shooting out down there by where the main jet's at. This one. Shooting out this side where the pilot jet goes. Idle jet. Nothing on this side. There's a hole in the bottom of this. Let's shoot that one. It's shooting out this hole over here. There it goes. No more. Nothing inside there. See if we can get that idle jet out one more time. Or that emulsion tube. There she is, she went flying. This one here has holes, all kinds of them. It's very important that those are clear. So if you're having trouble, you might want to get this out, make sure it's clean. So you want to be able to see through the middle, which we can. And then we want to see through all of these little holes. And I can see through all of them, but that's where this little kit comes in handy. You know, just open it up, pick one that you think might be a good size for what you're doing. It don't really matter, just pick one. And we're just going to poke it through all of these holes. Boom. Just like that. You know they're clear. We'll give her a shot anyway. Show you what it does. So this one's an eye killer, so watch your eyes. I'm gonna hold it to that hose there. You're gonna see it shoot juice through all those holes. I'm spinning it right now while I'm doing this so you can see it. And we're good there. So that's it for taking it apart and cleaning it. You could clean all this. You probably should clean all this off too. But I'm not going to. So you just take your float, that needle. It's going to slide right down into that bore there. The needle is. Like so. You take your float pin. And just slide it back through. Just center it. It'll be fine. Take your pilot jet. This side goes in first. This side goes towards the main jet, so it'll go in like this. Then your main jet. Just drop her down in there. It's brass and aluminum, so don't get crazy tightening this stuff down. Just gonna wait for it to bottom out right there. I'm just gonna give it a little bit more. That's it. After you clean your float bowl, which I'm not gonna do, put it back on there, and it don't matter which way you go. I mean, think about how this is going on your bike. This is gonna be up against the engine. That's gonna be out. You want to be able to drain your fuel. You can aim that drain out that way. You're gonna have a little gasket washer, and then your nut. Remember, it is aluminum, so don't go crazy. I'm going to pop that idle jet back in its hole. Now if you look at it, shaped like that, the flat's got to go up against that stop there. Either one, don't matter. And seat it down in there all the way. Then you put your idle screw back in. Just screw her back down to about where you had her if you checked it. If you didn't check it, you'll just have to reset your idle. No big deal. Drop our sediment bowl gasket down in there. That gasket is shot on this carburetor. And we'll just make sure you thread this straight. I've stripped one or two of them out, and then you're in trouble. Just remember, it's aluminum. Just snug. And there you have it. Rebuilt carburetor. The rebuild process should be pretty much exactly the same for a 196 up to 420s. So that's going to do it for a carb cleaning from a 196 up to probably a 420. They're all pretty much the same carburetor, just bigger or smaller. Some are going to have that sediment bowl, some aren't. If it doesn't have it, then that's not a big deal. You just can't take it off to clean it, but it's the same inside, all the passages and stuff. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it. I would appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.